everyone, this is Barbaros Aslan, Harmony Public Schools Math Director for Secondary Education. In this video, I will introduce the new tracking tool. I will show you how to run it and how to read it. I have added a couple of new features in this one that you might find a little more complicated comparing to the previous one, but I believe it's going to be a lot more beneficial. If you watch the entire video, I think everything's going to be clear for you. I will assume that you already know how to run the report on Eduphoria, the Item Analysys Report, so I'm going to skip that part. But if you need help on that, please watch the previous video and come back to this one. Okay, let's get started. Here is a report from Eduphoria, the Item Analysys Report. Let's copy all the cells by clicking here, right click, copy. Let's open the tracking tool. We paste what we copied to here, right click, paste. We're done with datasheet. Let's click on students. Before we run the report, let's talk about this part. We used to select by difficulty. At least this is what I suggested before. From now on, we're not going to go with by difficulty or by question. Instead, we're going to select by standard. Standard will be our new focus in the new tracking tool. When we select by difficulty, we are having an issue of not seeing the big picture, since there might be different level of questions in the same standard. Let's run the report and I'll show you what I mean. The process might take longer time when you use the tool for the mock test, since there are more questions in the mock tests. But I don't think it will take more than a minute anyway, no matter how slow your computer is. Okay, student page is completed. Now self-reflection page is being completed. Here we go. Now it's time to talk about how we should read it. This cell is showing us the standard. So 6-2C was the standard, and we had 3 questions in the test for this standard. 88% is showing us the overall success for this standard. So we had number 4, number 5, and number 15 in the test for this standard, and the success rate for each question is showed in here. And when you get the average of these success percentages, you will get 88%, which is the overall success rate for this standard 6-2C. This row is showing us the breakdown for each answer for these questions. Let's read one of these. Question number 4. We had 2 students who answered F in the test, which is wrong answer because we have plus sign next to the correct choice, which is J. And we had another 2 students who found G, which is incorrect, and no one answered H, and we have 22 students who got the right answer, J. This row is showing us if this standard is a readiness or supporting standard. As I said, this row is showing us the success percentage for each question. So 85% of students got right for question number 4, 92% of students got correct answer for number 5, and so on. How about this row? 0 represents the students who missed all the questions, all these 3 questions. 33% represents the students who missed 2 questions, 4 and 5. Obviously, it could have been 5 and 15 or 4 and 15, but in this case, we didn't have any students missed that 2 or that 2. 67% represents the students who missed only 1 question. So number 4 missed by these 2 students and number 15 missed by these 2 students. And we don't have any student who missed only number 5. Let's take a look at this one. The standard 6.3D had 4 questions in the test, and there is no any student who missed all these 4. These students missed these 3 questions, and missing 2 questions is shown in here, and as you can see there are a lot of different combinations. Number 16 and 17 missed by these 2, number 16 and 18 missed by only this student, 17 and 18 is missed by this, and this student missed 18 and 19. 75% represents the students who missed only 1 question. So number 16 missed by these 2 students, and these 2 students missed only number 17, and this student missed only number 19. As you see here, the standards are sorted by students' performance. If you want to sort it alphabetically, you need to select this option and rerun the report. This is the way pretty much how you read the student page. The next question is, how are we going to use it? In the tracking tool, the student page will help you to create your groups more efficiently in the small group instruction. After the benchmark or the mock test, when you start your small group instruction, I suggest you to start from the highest performing standard. Since majority of the students mastered that standard, I don't think it will be wrong to assume that these students will learn that standard easier than the other ones. How about the other pages? Other than the students, the standards, questions, self-reflection. Before I explain these pages, I would like to reset this report and run it for a mock test. Since this is benchmark, I think mock test will make better sense with the other pages. We click the reset button. We will follow the same steps. Let's go to the standard sheet. You can use the standard sheet to decide whether you should use small group instruction or reteach for entire class for every single standard. In this case, 6.7b is the lowest performing standard. Only 7% of students were able to master it. When you scroll down, you will see that the percentage is increasing and the red color is turning to green. So the highest performing standard is 6.2b, and what I suggest you to start from this standard with small group instruction and go up. On the other side, you will provide classroom reteach from this standard and go down, and somehow you will meet somewhere in the middle. Since this is the mock test, it's likely to have standards which are not taught yet. When we work on our strategies, of course we want to exclude the uncovered standards. Now I will show you how we can hide the uncovered standards. The idea is very simple. We put all the covered standards in these cells. If tracking tool finds any standard in here, then it will not hide it. But if it cannot find the standards in here, then that standard will be hidden. Let's take a look at this. 6.7b and 6.13a are not included in the covered standards. So when we check this box, those should be hidden. Here we go. Let's unhide it. So the next question is, typing all the covered standards here is not easy. If you're a math teacher, you're lucky because you don't have to type anything. All you need to do is just change this as of date. This date is totally aligned with our scope and sequence. If you change it to the date that you handled the test, for example, this is the first mock and we handled the first mock on December 8th. So let's change this to December 8th. And you press enter. all updated. As of December 8, only these standards are covered, and when we check this box, it will hide all the uncovered standards. You can hide the uncovered standards not only in this standard sheet, but also in the students sheet. You can do the same thing. The uncovered standards are highlighted by gray color. These questions haven't been taught yet in the classroom. In order to hide those questions, you check this box, and those will be gone. And if you want to see it again, you just uncheck it. In the questions sheet, you can review the questions altogether. You can change the sorting either by success rate or by standard, or you can focus on certain standards. You can also hide the uncovered standards in the questions sheet as well. In the self-reflection page, you can find a strip for every single student. That I believe will help you to provide small group instruction more systematically. It's pretty much it. Please don't hesitate to contact me when you have any questions or suggestions. Thank you for your time.